So, I got something to talk about, but I'm going to record this and then I'm going to go shop for a while because I need to pick up some food for my house. And I will probably put citations and annotations in this later in case somebody really needs to be able to look up the things that I'm talking about. It's not right to tell someone, just Google it. You know, if you have made a statement that you can back up and save people the time, I mean, you're the one person who can put it in your description box and save 100 people the time it takes to look up where you got your facts. So I apologize if there's anything that I'm about to say that you want fact checked by me. Just put it in the comments, something that I didn't put in the description, and then I'll put it in the description, and I will Google it for you. And that's true of just about any thing that I will talk about ever. If I didn't put enough citations in my description box, let me know. And don't bother yourselves. I'm the one saying this shit. Anyway, so the inspiration for this video comes from two instances from two separate people, but they might be related because these two people talk a lot between themselves. But two people have attempted to blackmail me by saying that I said to them that homosexuality can be cured. First of all, I'd like to say that I do not believe that homosexual urges or homosexual orientation can be cured at all. I have no evidence of this at all, and I would really take a look at the motives of anyone who would want to cure someone of being a homosexual, because I can imagine some motives being good. In that, a homosexual person might be tired of being persecuted for it as a teenager and want to change themselves, and then later in life realizing that that's horrible, because when you're under such persecution, there's nothing wrong with you. It's other people. But most of the reasons that I can imagine that someone would want to change someone from being a homosexual are pretty fucking monstrous, in my opinion. Now, the two individuals that have both tried to blackmail me with this ridiculous idea, one of them, I actually do remember having a discussion with him where I let him go on and talk. Now, if I let someone talk and don't immediately correct them on something, sometimes I am picking and choosing my battles. When someone's talking about their religion and their God, I don't stop them every sentence and say, but you haven't proven the existence of God. But you haven't proven the existence of God. But you haven't proven the existence of God. Sometimes you got to pick and choose your battles and see which place you might be able to persuade someone to use more critical thinking skills on something that they are completely fucking wrong about. Sometimes it takes a long time to take out every brick in a wall. You can't just think that you're going to do it all with one blow. So, Yeah, I can remember having a discussion with one of these people whereby the idea of curing homosexuals did come up. And the talks about nature versus nurture. Are there people who are homosexual because they're of their environment versus their own nature, their own genetics? I can remember these talks coming up, but it is not my opinion that you can change someone's genetic predisposition towards homosexuality. And in dealing with individuals like this, I don't bring up the big guns a lot, but here's some of the reasons why I don't believe that it is in any way productive to even try to change someone from being a homosexual. I have, in real life, encountered hermaphrodites. Even hermaphrodites attending the same college as I was. And I've seen both sets of junk down there. And when you encounter something like this, it becomes baffling to think about how someone who believes in a God that creates everyone to be a man or woman in a binary set would treat someone who was a hermaphrodite that chose to be either a boy or a girl, or chose to be treated with one set of pronouns. Aren't they discarding the other set of pronouns? And sometimes I wonder if religious fundamentalists or creationist fucktards, if they even believe that hermaphrodites exist. I think hermaphrodites, the hermaphrodites that feel comfortable enough to do this, I think they should go to any sort of religious fundamentalist rally and then just show off both sets of their junk. Just go, woohoo! Because I don't think that creationist fucktards even believe they exist. Because it would pose a really huge problem for their belief system with this binary set thing. Also, this is a little bit more in depth into science than some people might have gotten, and I'm really sorry that I won't immediately have citations for this, but there is something else that I have come across in science called genetic chimerism. Now, what I'm talking about is when mammals in particular, but other animals could do this, but mammals in particular, when they have a litter inside of a womb, or when human beings have twins or triplets inside of a womb, it is possible at early stages of a blastocyst for one blastocyst to overtake another. You can see this in human beings with Siamese twins. And, the two blastocysts joined at such a stage where both of the Siamese twins, they grew, and sometimes they can be separated, sometimes they can't. A genetic chimera is a being, human or otherwise, where one blastocyst takes over another, and outwardly, phenotypically, you cannot tell that being has two sets of genetic material. Genetic chimeras actually exist in the human population to the point where you will find people who have two sets of gender in their actual genetic makeup in their cells. And sometimes this presents in a mosaic pattern across someone's body. Similar to Turner syndrome, where you can have girls who have just a mosaic pattern of Turner syndrome on them, and the rest of them is genetically normal, or genetically typical, I should say. So when you encounter someone who is a genetic chimera, which I have, in a study, and you see that this person is outwardly one gender but wants to be the other gender, it's very hard to, imagine how people could pass judgment on these people who might have titties, they might have a snatch, but they do not have the mind of a female, and I really am hopeful that more information about this will come out, but information is good. Another reason why I think that homosexuality has a lot to do with nature versus nurture is I have seen studies where certain chemicals being present in the bodies of women have been correlated to the incidence of lesbianism in women. And certain drugs in the 70s, especially. And it's like when you see this correlation, that it's so hard for me to think of people condemning those children that became lesbians later, when it's kind of obvious that the chemicals that were present in the mother during development created that person as a lesbian. So I don't think there's anything wrong with them being lesbian. You can't blame them for it, at least. I've got a whole bunch of different reasons rooted in science to believe that homosexuality has a lot to do with nature. Let's see. Now on to why people could misconstrue something that I've said in one of my videos, not in a personal conversation, but in one of my videos I have said that the school of psychology that I studied the most was behaviorism. And I do believe that just about any behavior that someone performs, short of an autonomous nervous reaction, can be controlled through environment. And, this says nothing as to whether it would be right to do these things. But I can tell you, in my own life as an atheist from a very young age, I was conditioned by my environment to never come out as an atheist, and hide my religious feelings, my theological feelings and beliefs in company that would not accept them, because at a very young age I learned that when you tell someone that you're an atheist, they immediately associate it with Satanism and all sorts of bad things. So, And I think that a lot of people who are homosexual in nature, when they're growing up, they get an environment where they learn to not be openly homosexual. Now, this would be the behavior aspect of their homosexuality, not their actual orientation or their preferences. And if I were to be approached by a person who was homosexual who wanted to, say, get rid of their homosexual behavior, I would immediately be questioning why they would want to do that. If it was that they get made fun of at school or at work, I would be far more likely to want to attack the environment rather than their own behavior. If it had something to do with promiscuity, which I even hate using that as an example, but you know, it's not because homosexuals in Christian circles, they are stereotypically considered to be promiscuous. But if there was someone who was just too promiscuous, I can imagine a regimen that would help him control his own promiscuity if it was causing problems in his life. If he said, "Oh, please help me, I am having too many, homosexual friends that want to, just hook up with me," and I would probably, as a behaviorist and a psychologist, tell them, well, every time someone tries to hit on you, cross your arms like this. When you first meet them, that would be step one. Step two would be probably to try to get them to not go to the environments where they would be hit on. But again, I would first question the motives of why someone wanted to have their homosexual behavior curtailed. And most of the reasons why, I think, would be monstrous. So, yeah, a lot of the confusion as to what I believe about homosexuality and its place in the realm of psychology has to do with me being angry at the political pressure that is put on the American Psychological Association when writing the DSM, the Diagnostic Statistic Manual. Okay, and this is the book that psychologists use to diagnose whether or not there's a problem with someone and to help them to come up with treatments. And when there are political pressures keeping certain things out of the DSM, sometimes that can have a good effect and sometimes it can have a bad effect. It used to be that homosexuality was treated as a psychological illness in the DSM. But unfortunately, it was political pressure that removed it rather than the science that was even available back then, that would have given a better basis for why they should have treated homosexuality different. Now that homosexuality is removed for political reasons to keep homosexuals from being treated as crazy, and stigmatized, now it's difficult to use someone's homosexuality as a statistical indicator for other things that might be troubling them, such as depression. And there is a very high incidence of depression among homosexuals in America. There's a very high incidence of suicide among homosexuals in America. And the reason why, in my opinion, they are not getting the treatment that they should be getting is because people are afraid to even mention homosexual in the word homosexual in terms of what it can do to someone's psyche when they live in a very oppressive and prejudiced country. There is a direct correlation between their orientation and their depression. Is the orientation a cause of their depression? No. Should their orientation be stamped out of them to cure them of their depression? Hell no. I think it has to do with more with what we can do for them environment-wise. You know, if someone has an environment that is causing these problems, we need to address the environment. But I'm a behaviorist. You know, some psychiatrists would say just give them a pill and, you know, send them on their way, and then when people speak ill of them, they'll just let it roll off their back like it was nothing. I don't think that solves the root issue, so that's just me. Yeah. I'm not really into name dropping as far as saying I've got gay friends, so I can't be wrong about homosexuality. Even Christians do this. You know, Christians that would persecute homosexuals and not even realize it. So yeah, I'm not going to do that, but I will say, because this is on topic, that I do help run admin on a Facebook page where I collect just about every pro-LGBT video. And the name of it is Disco Salvation. And if you have Facebook and you want to be a fan of that page, go right ahead. It's open for anyone to post to it. And it's the kind of open where if anyone posts to it, it appears on the front page. We don't hide anything else anyone wants to share. And, yeah. That's about as far into me defending my gay cred as I want to get. Because, you know, like I said, I don't like name dropping. So yeah, I'm off to go get some dinner and stock my pantry. Take care, everyone.